UFC 266 pre-fight Q&A live stream. Yeah.
There we go. The tweet is fired. As we have arrived, it is fight day. UFC 266 going down. At least the preliminary portion of the evening will kick off in 30 minutes. And it'll end later on tonight. We have 3 5-round fights, including the return of Nick Diaz taking on Robbie Lawler in a rematch 17 years in the making. Valentina Shevchenko will defend her women's flyweight title against Lauren Murphy. And in the main event for the UFC featherweight title, Alexander Volkanovski will make his second title defense against his bitter rival, Brian Ortega. It is time for the People's Pre-Fight Show here on the MMAfighting.com YouTube channel, where we turn the programming over to you guys. You guys ask the questions, and we react to it. Just a tag team panel today. I am Mike Heck, and joining me on the ones and twos, the baddest stash in the game, my fellow red shirt wearing Casey Leydon. How are you, sir?
Doing wonderful, sir. Doing wonderful. Happy to be here. Happy to be talking mixed martial arts. That's the best type of martial arts, when you mix them together, to be honest.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
So
individual
the
martial arts, mixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you mix them all together, magic will ensue. And the magic will kick off with Omar Morales and Jonathan Pierce. At the top of the hour should be a fun featherweight matchup. And then we go to Matthew Semmelsberger versus Martin Sano making his UFC debut. And then a couple of debuting fighters, Nick Maximoff and Cody Brundage. And then I think we have one more before we go to the actual ESPN news card. Uros Medic versus Jalen Turner. Then we get Tyler Santos, Roxanne Modaffari, Chris Dawkins, Shamil Abdurrahimov, Dan Hooker versus Nasrat Hakparast. And then the featured prelim is super under the radar. I think it's going to be a really good fight. Marlon Moraes in a must-win situation, taking on the surging Marab Dawalishvili. And then, of course, the main card is really good, especially the first 2 fights, which no one's really talking about. Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Curtis Blades, and, of course, the 3 big fights that we talked about, Diaz Lawler 2, Shevchenko Murphy, and Volkanovski Ortega. So let's go to the peeps. This is your show. Bring the thunder. Bring the thunder.
All right. Here we go.
OMG. That's right.
I think it stands for "Oh my God."
Yes.
Is that right? Is that what the kids are saying?
That's what the kids are saying?
All right.
Yes.
OMG. Or maybe.
Could be goodness. Could be goodness.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Is Mike Heck the best host in MMA media? I don't think so, but I just sit here, we hit record, and we talk.
I mean, I'm looking at my rankings, and Mike, you're right at the top. You're at the top. I mean, I know I'm the panelist.
On your rankings? Oh no. Oh no.
Hey, you're active. You show up. You're there. Activity matters.
I'm the Kevin Holland of hosting live YouTube shows.
And
thank you for that. I don't know if that's I don't know if you're saying that, but if you did. Jessica, who put out an interesting stat, I believe she said that at like the last 3 or 4 events that she's been to, or maybe like every pay-per-view event she's been to, there's been some unfortunate doctor stoppage of some kind on all of those cards. So maybe the curse will be broken tonight. Although there's a good chance there won't be.
Oh, what was the stat? Doctor stoppage? What?
Yeah, when Jessica goes to fight cards live, there's some sort of weird doctor stoppage that takes place at some point on every card. I think I saw that.
Jessica Crystal Crew, get your crystals lined up correctly. I don't know. You're doing something wrong, or polish that pyrite. I don't know. Come on. Let's get it together. Come on, Crystal Crew. All right. What we got here? Oh, boy.
Oh. When will we see Casey versus Jed in BTL? We need that ASAP. Jed did call out Casey after his last victory. Casey was doing 5 million things on Thursday when we went live, including producing BTL after compiling a bunch of videos, including the best of Nick Diaz, which is on our page right now. I'm sure that took a lot of wind out of his sails going through old Nick Diaz interviews, like hours and hours of content. So Jed is going to be like off, I think, the next couple of weeks. So we will try to rebook. We'll try to put that one in the books upon his return.
The issue is I only face winners.
Oh.
So
maybe Casey versus Cody Stamen next week on BTL.
Yeah. I mean, we have a weight class issue, but we're fighters. Well, fighters fight. We don't care about weight classes. If this is in the street, no one has a scale. So.
I'm actually going to be meeting Jed Meshew in person next week on Friday. We're going to play some golf Friday morning. So I'm excited about that.
All right, what we got here? Oh, everyone's so nice. Look at this. Just all these throwing these compliments. I wasn't prepared for this.
Look at this.
What's going on?
And you were worried. You were worried we didn't have enough people. Everyone's just so positive today. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. Surprised we haven't had any questions about the big news of the day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't really like these questions, but people like talking about it. So,
will UFC 266 sell over or under 650,000 pay-per-view buys? I think we're going under that number. I think it's going to be. For a Volkanovski Ortega headlined pay-per-view, yes, I know Nick Diaz is on it. I think we're about like 525, something around that. I feel confident in saying that.
Unfortunately, I believe it's going to be under 2, around the 500 range, which is still 500,000 people paying $70 to watch fights. Is still a big accomplishment, But I understand, with so many top level fighters on this card, especially the pay-per-view portion, and every fight on the pay-per-view portion matters, has serious significance to upcoming, top level fights. Yeah, it is kind of a bummer, but the best, it's like the best fights don't sell the best. But luckily we have Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler. Actually, I take it back. There's one fight in the card that really has no. I take that back too. If Nick Diaz does win, who knows? He might be fighting for a championship fight pretty soon.
Yeah, very possible.
I was thinking, that's just kind of the fun fight, but not really. Yeah. So going under, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think 500,000 for this card is pretty damn good for September pay-per-view.
Very dang good. Very dang good. I'm gonna put this question up there, even though I don't like it. I don't like what people are saying, but
who will Jan fight for the interim belt now that the Weasel pulled out, like we all know? Okay, so me and Damon Martin broke this story today. I had some very interesting conversations throughout the day while driving around with my child, so he was privy to this news before anybody else was. So as you all know, Aljamain Sterling is out of his title fight with Petr Yan. The reason he is out of this fight is because the man had neck surgery not long ago, dealing with an injury that's been hampering him since he was a wrestler in college. And I even said this, like, I thought fighting in October, November was going to be very difficult coming out of a surgery like that. He said he was ready to go. I was kind of surprised by that. And now he's no longer fighting because he still has the neck injury. I will say, and we didn't put this in our report, and the reason why we didn't put this in our report is because it's at the very early preliminary stages, and if we report something, no matter what it is, we get both sides of the story. Like, no matter what it is, even if it's a piece of the story. So Aljo out, we confirm both sides. I was told well before other reports came out that Corey Sandhagen is the front runner to take this fight. But the reason we didn't report that was because it's very early in the process. Like, basically where it's at right now is the idea has been floated by. Both sides seem to be preliminarily in, and that's where we're at right now. I know for a fact, and I'm not going to name names, that there are multiple other people offered this fight as well. For some reason, one way or the other, couldn't happen. So it seems like, as of right now, better for worse, Sandhagen is the last man standing. I think Sandhagen is the fight to make. So we'll see what happens. But right now, that's where we're at right now. Jan doesn't have an opponent. The plan is to keep him on the card to fight for an interim title. As of right this moment, Corey Sandhagen is the front runner, but we are ways away from agreements, pen to paper, all that stuff. Like official offers have not even been put out there yet.
And what is the date for this fight again?
It's October 30th, so we're
that's
about a month away.
So, and like that's very understandable. I'm just saying, for example, if Rob Font was offered, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying if he was offered it, that's 1 month away. And if he is, we don't know what shape Rob Font is or whatever fighter is in. So I completely understand any fighters who are turning this down because, I mean,
and it's in Abu Dhabi. Don't forget about that.
Ooh, and it's in Abu Dhabi. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of things that go into this. Like, say your coaches, you don't know, like, you want to bring your coaches, but say your coaches are committed to something else. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things, like a lot of moving parts for not just the fighter themselves have to be there. And, but Sandhagen, oh man, is that the main event? That's the co-main event for the, what do you call it? It's a free pay-per-view, right? Or kind of, I don't know, a free numbered event.
Yeah, it's going to be on ESPN Plus because 268.
ESPN+? Wow,
it's going to be on ESPN Plus because maybe it's on ESPN as well, but 268 is the week after, and that's going to be so they're basically doing 2 numbered events in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So they're doing that one, and then 268 is at MSG the following Saturday.
I wonder, whatever. That's UFC's dilemma to worry about. It was like, how many title fights are on the MSG card?
Is it 2? But there's 2 on that one already.
Yeah. What do you think about if it's Jan Sandhagen for the interim title?
I'm totally fine with that.
Me
if
too.
They do Jan versus Font for interim title, I'm fine with that too. But as of right now, I don't think Rob is in the running right now. Mm-hmm. At least from what I understand, he won't be fighting for the interim title. Yeah. I don't think he'll be able to.
Yeah, I mean,
Rob wants to fight in December. Cuts. It looks like against who I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into this. Mm-hmm. There are some very strange names offered that I heard, and I don't know how much truth there is to that, but. Yeah, it seems like Sandhagen, as of right now, is the guy if they can make this happen. But it's scramble time. You're a month away from this card. We're a month away. And, with something like this, when you get Jan and Glover, which is a great fight, but it's not one that's going to draw a ton of eyeballs, you want to get that second title fight on there, especially in this division. So,
yeah. But I also think
and for those people saying strip Sterling, you're ridiculous.
No. See, that's why I wanted to kind of focus on the weasel part. Dude, stop it, MMA fans. I get it. Aljo didn't win the title in a traditional way. Yeah, we get that. But you know what? But as much as I like in my rogue panelist ratings, I still have Jan ranked above Aljamain Sterling. But I have no issues with Sterling being the champion. Jan broke the rules. He loses the title. Sterling's the champ. That's just how it is. Now Sterling's injured, and we're just in this kind of a mess of a situation. That's where we're at. Don't stop trashing the fighters that you say you love, you say you support. Aljamain Sterling did nothing wrong. Can we just stop that? Jeez. That's like I get that you want to call, you can call him a paper champ, you can call him not a legitimate champ, but he is the champion. There's nothing wrong with what Sterling has done. He's done zero wrong. So that's all.
Yeah, and the one person this hurts the most, in my opinion, is TJ Dillashaw, because he's supposed to, by all accounts, by just math, MMA math, Dillashaw was next in line to fight the winner of Sterling versus Jan. Whoever came out of that as the undisputed champion would go on to fight TJ Dillashaw sometime in 2022. Now we get an interim title fight. The winner of that will have to fight Aljo, more than likely, and then Dillashaw is going to have to wait. So what this does is it just kind of slows down TJ's title opportunities. And some of these other guys too. If they do, guys like Aldo and Font and, some of these other Merab Dvalishvili, like some of these other guys.
I wouldn't be surprised if that whoever Jan's going to face, if maybe if something significant happens tonight with Merab I think if Merab wins, say knocks out Moraes in the first round, who knows? Maybe Merab might get a quick turnaround beyond Merab. I have no idea. So maybe that could. I mean, he should be also. I would assume in the running by Sunday.
Yeah, it's tough though. with Aljo still the champion, because
Oh
those
yeah,
two guys.
I forgot. You're correct. You are correct.
Unless he's just to be like, you know what, I'm going to take this interim title, I'm going to throw it down, and
that'd be interesting actually if he wins the interim title, then relinquishes the interim title. So I don't know.
I'll give it to somebody else.
Okay.
There you go. That's the latest on this story.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to MMA Fighting for more. But as of right now, Sandhagen's the front runner for an interim title fight, which is a sick fight. Jan Sandhagen is a great fight.
I love it. And I thought Sandhagen won his last fight against Dillashaw. I understand the judges didn't think so, but I had Sandhagen winning. I know a lot of people did too. So I think the UFC acknowledges that a bit. If TJ would have just finished Sandhagen, I really don't think Sandhagen would be in the running. But since it was such a close, controversial decision, I think the UFC recognizes that, and that's why Sandhagen, his name is out there. I would assume, yeah. All right. On the comments, please stop spamming AJ McKee's name. I know his name. If you do that one more time, I will ban you, Mr. Franca. You have been warned.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You've been warned, Franca. All right. So
you got any 266 questions or thoughts? Or is this John Jones, Aljamain Sterling half hour?
Yeah, I know. Here we go. Two words. Sorry, I have he's AJ McKee. I like AJ McKee, but come on, guys. I can't see the actual questions. All right, here we go.
Is this a must-win for Dan Hooker? If he loses, that's 2 in a row. I'd imagine he'd fall way back in the rankings. So in order to stay relevant, is this a very important fight for him? So this would be 3 in a row for Dan Hooker if he loses this fight, because he lost to Poirier, then he lost to Michael Chandler. So now it would be 3 straight. Relevant, like this is, and I don't know if you agree with me, Casey, at least this is how it should be. These two guys should just be fighting for money. Like, there shouldn't be any stakes really involved and rankings and all that stuff. What these two gentlemen have gone through to even get to this point, and they're probably going to put out a banger tonight. Whatever happens tonight should not mess with the stocks of either of these two guys. So I don't think, I'm not going to go out and say that this is a must win for Dan Hooker. It'd be good to beat an unranked guy, put you back in the fold, but I think this is kind of a house money kind of fight for both of these guys, considering what they went through. Right? I mean, outside of just getting the second paycheck, which both these guys should get anyways.
I would agree with you, but that's never how it works. No one remembers like when guys take. I'm not saying this fight for example, but I'm using different fights for example. But when fighters take fights on short notice and they lose big or something, and you go, oh, it's a short notice fight. But you know what? 6 months from now, no one remembers that. No one's gonna. If Dan Hooker loses bad. And then his next fight, people aren't going to go. We're not going to see the comments going, "Hey guys, he had visa issues. That's why he got knocked out in the first round by, Nasrat. How do you say? Oh, I can't remember his name.
Haqparast.
Yeah. Say his name again. His last name.
Haqparast.
Haqparast. But is it a must-win? It is not a must-win for Dan Hooker to keep his UFC job, but I think this is a must-win if he wants to be considered a potential title contender, rather than just kind of, an exciting lightweight, which is fine. Being an exciting lightweight is a great achievement, but I think Dan Hooker, he sees himself as a top contender, and if you're a top contender, you gotta win fights like this, especially after coming off that Chandler loss. So not must win, but very important.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fight that's set up. I mean, Nasrat is a very good fighter. He's a dangerous guy. Mm-hmm. But this is a fight statistically and rankings and all that wise that Hooker should be able to win. So I think Hooker's is taking the right approach. Like, I don't really deserve a guy in the rankings. Give me anybody at this point. And then if he wins, he goes back in there. And let's not forget, that Poirier fight was insane. That was one of the best fights of the year last year. I think that finished second in our overall, in our end of the year rankings. That fight was incredible. He gave Dustin Poirier everything he could handle, and Dustin Poirier if he beats Charles Oliveira, could be the fighter of the year.
Yeah, and most people think I would think is Dustin Poirier a favorite going into Charles Oliveira? Do you know?
I would say, yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. So back to the whole like a champion should be number one ranked all the time, but look, we have Dustin Poirier who's not the number one ranked. It's Charles Oliveira, according to UFC, and the idea that Dustin Poirier is not champion,
Poirier minus 155 right now.
Minus 155. Okay, so it's almost a pick 'em really. Minus 155. Okay, it's pretty close, but
I think that's a fair line. I think that's a fair line.
I think All right, questions. Oh, since you got the odds in front of you, sir.
Oh, let me yoink them right back up. What are the odds that Volk beats Ortega by submission? Oh boy,
that'll be wild.
Let's go to the old prop bet machine here. Volkanovski wins by submission plus 1,600.
Ooh.
Ortega wins by submission is plus 500 right now.
If Volk wins by submission, it's definitely going to be one of those he gets on top of him and just beats the crap out of him and then eventually gets the submission. It's kind of like submissions after, 10 minutes of ground and pound. But that's always a possibility.
Volkanovski wins by unanimous decision right now is plus 225. So that might be something to sprinkle.
All right.
Who does Merab fight next if he wins tonight? You know what? It's kind of a tough one because, again, and I've said this for like 4 years now, there's not anybody in the top 15, 135 pounds that will be excited to fight Merab Dvalishvili. Not one of them. So I think he's going to have a hard time finding fights. I would like to see him... I would like to see him fight someone like Dominic Cruz or Frankie Edgar, somebody like that. Like I feel like he deserves a name like that. Like I think Moraes is like a nice step forward, probably the biggest name that he's fought to this point. But yeah, I think like giving him a fight like a Cruz or somebody like that. I don't think Cruz will be all that enthused about fighting Merab, but yeah, I kind of like that idea.
So right now in our rankings, we have Moraes at number 7. So if he was to win, Merab, I would just have Merab at number 7. Who's I've seen, I can't remember. I've seen Aldo's name in the news. Is he have a fight coming up? Remind me.
He's not.
Rob Aldo. I don't know, but I don't know how picky Aldo is. But like you said,
I'd be picky as hell.
Yeah, Merab's kind of a tough time fighting someone ranked above him, and like I'm a believer that you fight someone like right now he's fighting someone in front of him. You win that fight, your next fight, it's okay to fight someone behind you. It's like so I have no issue with Merab fighting. It could be the Edgar,
Pedro Munoz. I mean, it's behind Moraes, but there's a little bit of a story there. Munoz and Moraes are teammates. Like you could build something there, but and that's an interesting matchup because Munoz has really good fight IQ and he's a tough test for anybody at 135. That fight with Aldo was just magical to watch.
Did Cody commit to going to 25? Cody Garbrandt?
Yeah, he's fighting Kai Kara France.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so Merab's his options are gonna be limited with a win tonight.
Yeah, especially it's going to be that way for a while too. It's just unfortunate.
But that wasn't very much different. Say, take all these kind of really strong wrestlers. Even Khabib on his way up to the title, Islam Makhachev. These guys until they become like, kind of needle movers. They're just gonna have tough times fighting really tough times finding fighters in front of them in the rankings. It's just how it is. Unless you become a big knockout guy and can talk mad smack on the mic, it's gonna be tough.
But don't count Marlon Moraes out of this.
Oh fight. No. I mean, I kind of.
Just in general, anybody. That's an interesting fight.
Oh, you know what? This is a good time because I'm gonna forget if I don't talk about it. All right, there's a reason I'm wearing this Pride shirt. So tonight, if Nick Diaz somehow defeats Robbie Lawler, I'm going to open this up.
Whoa, what is that?
Look at
that.
Let me go to my solo shot. Look at this. I got this a few years ago. I have very few toys, and this is one toy I've kept in the package. Nick, the Stockton bad boy Diaz. I will actually open this up. I will break the collector's code. I will open the packaging and actually, I don't know, but yeah.
Wow.
Isn't it so funny?
Ooh, look at this. That's
And
crazy.
yeah, I love it too. You can't see it, but he's wearing his shorts, and on his shorts it says like Cesar Gracie Jiu Jitsu, Stockton 209, and OTM, which is like the on the mat grappling gear. So not wearing Venom gear. Look at this. But yeah, I will open this up if Nick Diaz wins tonight. I've had this for years. I just saw it on my shelf today. I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that. So I even dusted it off for the show. I'm very nervous about opening it though. All right.
Yeah. We'll go until we start seeing guys make the walk.
On,
Is Uros Medic a potential UFC star? He has a lot of charisma and an exciting fighting style. Yeah, I mean,
I just know he's exciting. I don't know very much about him, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he's a character. He's a character. If he goes out there and has a great performance tonight, he could be our like. I'm not going to compare him to Big Tuna because there is no other Big Tuna, but he could be like the Big Tuna of UFC 266. Just kind of under the radar and exciting fighting style, good on the mic, and more people will get to see him. So yeah, I think there's a lot of fighters who could be potential stars. It's a lot of luck in the perfect storm, and maybe tonight's a perfect storm for one of these guys. And Jalen Turner's a pretty interesting cat too. What do you think makes Nick Diaz such an intriguing and captivating fighter / draw? Thank you.
Thank you for question mark.
Yeah. How would you describe this, Casey? Like the popularity of this guy?
Like if someone didn't or barely followed MMA or very new to the sport, and they go, "Who's this Nick Diaz guy?" What would I tell them? Man, that's kind of I don't know. To me, why we love the Diaz brothers is because Nick and Nate is because I think I'm confident in saying that after they leave the sport, we're not going to have fighters like them anymore. They came from a time in MMA when MMA wasn't a professional thing. Like you just kind of fought, and if you got $50, you were happy. Like it was like they come from that kind of genre of fighters where like they really got into mixed martial arts to save their lives. It wasn't like, oh, I just like fighting's fun. It's a good exercise or something like that. Or it's on TV. I want to be a prize fighter. They got to me like they're martial artists because it saved their lives, and you can kind of tell, And they're just like I think of like I know they're different personalities, but I think of guys like the Diaz brothers, Matt Browns, the Carlos Condits. I don't know, guys like that. If you talk to them, they're like martial arts save their lives, and I think the Diaz brothers are like that. And if you watch that hour-long montage of Nick Diaz interviews I put together, one thing he said that was really interesting, he says how he said it years ago, but he said how money kind of destroyed the fun of fighting for him. And it's a weird thing because obviously he wants to get paid what it's worth, but at the same time it becomes a job. And I think he always hated that. I think he just loves fighting. He loves studying fight. He loves becoming a better fighter. All the technique that's involved in it. So when the money and the politics became such an important factor in prize fighting, it really just kind of I think broke his heart a bit. But he's got to make a living, and here we are. So. That doesn't really answer. I think everyone's got a different reason why they love Nick Diaz, but yeah, I don't know. I've been fortunate enough because like before I was a mixed martial arts journalist. I used to work for promotions. I worked for Elite XC, worked for Strikeforce, so I seen Nick. I've been in Stockton. I've shot him training. I've been in his home. So like that's what Nick just said. He means something different to me. So for fans, yeah, I think everyone has a different reason why they love Nick Diaz. What's your answer for that, Mike?
I think that they separate themselves because they are who they are. They are real. There's nothing manufactured about them. They're not putting on a show for the cameras. Yeah, they do some stuff behind the scenes business-wise that are very smart. Like they get the game. I would say Nate more so than Nick. Like he just gets it. But Nick kind of wrote the blueprint and taught him the ways of the land. But you mentioned Condit and Matt Brown and some of those other guys, and you could put Nick and Nate in that sentence as well. When you look at them and you see that they fight, like, you know that they belong there. Like, they are about that life, and they are as real as it gets. They say whatever is on their mind, whether it's professional, the right thing to say, whether it's nice about the UFC, terrible about the UFC. They say what's on their mind. They are as real as it gets. And that is a super UFC cliche, but that is what makes the Diazes so special, at least in my eyes. And that's what I think people enjoy so much about them, is that they are exactly who they are in front of the camera. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, they are exactly who they are. And I think that's what people dig about them. They deal the rawness and the realness of them.
Yeah.
And they fight, and like, they ain't afraid of nothing.
No.
Like, they are literally about that life.
Oh man, I just have so many funny stories about Nick and Nate. Real quick, like, and this is why I really just enjoy Nick as just a person. I shot and edited the countdown show for Showtime back in the day for when he fought KJ Noons, and and after it came out and everything, it did well and everything. But then I saw Nick on Fight Week, and Nick comes up to me. He's all pissed. He's like, "Why'd you make the footage?" He was just kind of almost rambling a bit. I'm like, "Whoa, what's going on, man?" He's like, "You showed me training with like nobodies." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Gil wasn't there, Jake wasn't there, no, Nate wasn't there." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I was only there for like 2 days, and they happened to be out of town." And he was like, "Yeah, but now people think I'm training with nobodies and stuff." I was like, "No one thinks that, Nate. I mean, Nick, no one thinks that." I was like, "It's okay." And then like Nick did a shoot, and he came back, and he kind of apologized, and I was like, "It's okay, Nick." It's like, "It's fine." I was like, "I'm not mad." It's like he's just a very unique personality, and he'll go both ways real fast. But then after that, he wasn't mad. I just told him, I was like, "Nick, it's fine. I wasn't trying to make you look bad. It's quite the opposite, Nick." And he was like, I'm sorry," and we've gotten along great. And then I remember when he fought Frank Shamrock. As soon as he won, he was about to do his interviews, and I'm holding a microphone. And right before we start, Nick just recognizes me and goes, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" And he just kind of shakes my hand. I'm like, good fight. He's like, "Thanks." And then he just goes off and gets kind of mad because he couldn't find his shoes, and like, it was just that was his big concern. He had just knocked out Frank Shamrock in front of like 15,000 people, and his main concern backstage was, "I can't find my shoes." And I don't know. I just thought it was adorable.
It looks like Anthony Joshua is about to lose.
No way.
To Usyk. I mean, judging boxing, especially watching MMA people judge boxing, it's pretty funny. But it seems like Usyk's like 2 minutes away from beating Joshua. He's rocked him a couple of times.
Wow.
So we'll see. Looks like we're gonna have Usyk's about to become the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe a date with the Fury Wilder.
I've been kind of so busy with 266 this week. I've been kind of seeing stuff about that fight. It was like, I'll worry about it later. But yeah,
good for him.
Yeah.
No one's making the walk. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes.
Oh,
no one's
God,
making the
we
walk
have
just
so
yet.
much spam today. Sorry, I gotta.
Shoes are important and cost money. That's true, Steven. That is super true.
No one is denying that one. Sorry, I got a lot of. You know what? I am a bit bummed that I feel weird saying this, that Joe Rogan's not on the call tonight, because I do kind of wish Joe Rogan was calling the Nick Diaz fight, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like Joe's insight on Nick Diaz wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting question. We actually haven't talked about this.
Does Robbie need a win tonight, or will he get cut if he loses? So we talked about this on the preview show, and I have no idea. Like, diving into the mind of Robbie Lawler it's impossible. There's like 50 bouncers there. No one's getting through. But when I spoke with him, he said, like, listen, there's not a big name. It's not an exciting fight. I don't know if I'm not taking it. Like, I'm just not going to fight. I'd rather sit home. His exact words were, I'd rather sit home with my kid and watch The Office and just train on my own, go to the gym and just train for fun, than get ready and take all that extra time away from my family to prepare for a fight. So there is a very good chance, at least in my opinion, and he never said these exact words, that this will be the last time he fights. And I think kind of the BS he's been dealing with the whole weight change and all that stuff. And he seems cool behind the scenes, but you saw him at the stare down. He didn't look very happy. And I know Robbie in front of the camera isn't the most pleasant gentleman in the world, not the happiest guy anyways, but this could be it either way. He still got value. I don't know if they cut him.
I don't think they'll
I don't know what
cut
kind of
him.
money he's making. He's got value, but
he won't be cut per se. But I think he just may just be kind of on the roster for like years and not have a fight. One of those guys.
Yeah. And Jose made a great point too last night, saying Robbie could just like retire for a year and nobody would know.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know how to answer that question. I'm prepared for anything regarding that fight. I am prepared for absolutely anything at this point. Is the beef between Alex and Brian as manufactured or the real deal? How would Volk not have known about the USADA thing? It's funny. Not a lot of people remember Ortega getting popped.
Because I don't think a lot of people it's not a story anymore. How long? I mean, at what point is it?
Was it 199 that happened?
It was his first fight. It was off his first fight in the UFC when he was like the first prelim.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, it was like it was for one of those stupid like, oh, I got an over the counter protein powder, and this is when a lot of guys were popping for like just over the counter stuff, and he owned it. He said, yeah, I took some supplements from GMC I wasn't supposed to take. And then he took his suspension. He owned it, and he goes, "That was a stupid mistake." And I felt every fight after that, every opponent he's faced has kind of moved on from that. They're like, "Okay, cool. He got his loss. He got his win taken away. He got suspended. He did his time. He owned it, and now we're here." And I don't. It's cool. Volk found out. I don't. It seems forced to be the beef. I mean, how many times has Ortega fought since then? And like now it's gonna be like this issue. I don't know.
It was 2014 that he got popped. That was 7 years ago, April of 2014.
So and it wasn't a USADA thing, by the way. It was actually
just California.
Yeah, it was pre-commission. I mean, it was pre-USADA, so it wasn't a USADA thing.
It's California.
So it was just he just failed a test, and yeah. Do we think it's manufactured? I don't think it's manufactured. But I don't know. Fighters are weird. I've gotten some weird DMs from, not weird, but a couple of fans have written me going like, "Hey, no, Alex isn't fake stuff." And it's like a lot of like Alex Volkanovski supporters are really like attacking me. I'm like, "Hey, man, I just don't like, just fight the fight." I mean, I don't think I don't think bringing the USADA thing up, the drug suspension up, or how he was late for meetings sold anything. I mean, I don't understand Volkanovski's angle here, but if it's what he needs to get, amped up for a fist fight is it Volkanovski's first main event?
This is his first main event.
Yeah, his first main event. Yeah, I mean, people forget there's a lot of pressure too on Volkanovski. This is his first main event. Like, he's had championship fights, but that was always behind like whoever the bigger name on the card was. So there's a lot of pressure. This is first post Holloway defense, first post COVID defense. I mean, people forget how bad off he was for his for COVID. So whatever Volkanovski needs to get himself amped up. All I said, I'm just not into it. That's all I said. But
yeah, listen, I don't think you said it was fake. You just
I didn't say it was fake.
And look, I remember having like conversations with Calvin Kattar.
And the beef kind of seems one way too. It seems like a one way. Ortega's just like, all right.
And there could be gamesmanship to this thing too. Like I said, I think maybe he's trying to get under Ortega's skin to get him angry and have him go away from his game plan and come out a little more feisty than maybe we would expect him to. So who knows? I mean, whatever you need. Sometimes you need to find a chip. Sometimes you need to get amped in different ways. Sometimes matchups excite you. Sometimes opponents excite you, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes you need to find ways to boost that excitement back up to where it was for maybe the Max Holloway fight or the Jose Aldo fight or fights of that nature. Maybe Brian Ortega isn't that name that gets him super excited. So he's trying to find ways to get him excited. So who knows?
Yeah. And
fighters are interesting cats.
I'm not Mr. I love Volkanovski. I think he's the best featherweight ever. But man, I'm picking Brian Ortega. Man, but I love being wrong. So if Volkanovski just completely works Brian Ortega tonight, you know what? I'll own it. And like, yeah, man, you rule, dude. You are the legitimate featherweight champ. And if he wins tonight, I do consider him the legitimate featherweight champ. I know a lot of us thought, that he necessarily didn't win the second fight with Holloway. But regardless, it was super competitive. And, if Holloway, Volkanovski, fight, 100 times, I believe 50 times they'll win 50 times each. So,
Omar Morales about to make the walk, so we're going to end this with Casey and Mike's predictions.
Yeah,
I didn't even make my picks for Tapology. Hopefully I still can.
Did you get him in?
I forgot all about it.
I just got mine in. It might be too late.
All right, crap. I'm just going to throw them out on the picks page. All right. Hooker, Hack, perhaps. Who you got? Don't need reason. Just pick who you got.
I'm going for the upset. I'm going Hospirat.
I'll go Hooker. Moraes to Walashvili.
I'm going Mariah's first round KO. Shocker.
I think Marab wins a very competitive decision. I think Mariah's going to show some stuff tonight. Andrade Calvillo.
Andrade is going to work Calvillo pretty good for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I'll go with Andrade. I think Calvillo is going to be a dog in this fight, though. Curtis Blades, Jairzinho Rosenstrike.
Curtis Blades is going to win a very Curtis Blades fight.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Nick Diaz, submission, round 3. I don't know. I'm just
This has weird and wacky written all over it. I'm going to go Robbie Lawler by some sort of freak. By a Jessica Crystal Crew doctor stoppage. Okay. Robbie Lawler. Valentina Shevchenko, Lauren Murphy.
Valentina, I think you said this yesterday. Valentina wins 4 rounds to 1. Just Murphy gets her down 1 round, but Valentina will be the superior fighter. It'll be pretty clear cut. And Lauren Murphy would take a beating. She would take a beating, but the fans will be on their feet applauding Lauren Murphy for her valiant effort.
I think it's going to be a war that's won by Shevchenko, but I think Murphy's going to give her something to think about, but I'm with you. I think Shevchenko wins 4 out of the 5. And then you're picking Ortega. I go with Volkanovski via decision to retain the title. So that's it. JSP is about to meet Omar Morales inside the nearly empty T-Mobile Arena right now. The UFC 266 prelims kicking off on ESPN+. You can watch that wire to wire, or you can go on Fight Pass, then go to ESPN News, I believe, for the second half of the prelims before the main card on ESPN+. But if you just don't want to watch it, stick with us at MMAfighting.com and get you covered. Jose Young's our boots on the ground, providing post-fight interviews, all that good stuff. And then Casey and I will join you after the main event for the press conference and then a post-fight show of some kind. So get ready for a long night, ladies and gentlemen. For Casey, I am Mike. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you later on.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have fun tonight. Watch some good fist fights.
Red shirts rule. Red shirts rule.
Red shirts rule. Happy birthday, AK.
Martial art.